gentlemen, before we begin, I should warn you that some of you may find what you are about to hear rather disturbing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Until Dawn podcast. As always, my name is Coy, and with me is my wife, Felicia.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so what has been happening?
Nothing. Nothing's been happening.
Nothing.
We didn't get to go to Comic-Con.
No. There's a lot we didn't get to do. We're supposed to go to New Orleans in July. That's not happening.
Not happening. We're supposed to go to Haunted America at the end of this month. Well, it's May, but at the end of June. Not happening until next year. We haven't got to do any investigations.
Nope. I did start doing virtual learning with the kids, and that was scary. That was a scary experience.
That's been a nightmare.
Yeah, but we
Luckily,
survived it.
Yeah.
We made it. School's over, sorta. Next week, summer school starts.
Virtual summer school.
Virtual summer school.
I think we should still make them wake up super early, like it's regular summer school.
If I have to get up, they do. What else?
We ended up having to get new equipment.
Yeah, we did.
So you had to get a new microphone.
I did. And hopefully it's better now.
I think so. Everything sounds a lot better.
Yeah. Disney trips. We had to reschedule twice.
Was it twice or three times?
April, then May. And now we're scheduled for July.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to have to be rescheduled also.
Yeah, since they haven't decided when they're going to reopen yet.
Yeah.
Well, we did decide to do some more local episodes, kind of in between here or there.
Right.
As we can.
It's mostly because we're not able to travel at the moment.
So if you're local, it'll maybe be exciting. If you're within driving distance, it will be some places you can still check out.
One thing that was exciting for me, not for you, was last weekend. My birthday's coming up. We can't do anything. So last weekend, like spur of the moment, I convinced you to take me on a little 49-mile road trip up to Cuba, Missouri, and to stop at all the tourist traps because I love tourist traps.
Right.
So that was fun for me.
Yes, it was fun for you. We got to see exciting things like the train in the wall.
Uranus.
Yes.
Got to go there. The world's largest belt buckle.
Right.
What else?
That rocking chair.
The Route 66 rocker. We were going to stay at the Wagon Wheel. Was it motel? Not a hotel. Motel.
Yeah, it looked really cool. It was like all like little stone cabin looking buildings.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think it's the longest continuous running motel on Route 66, maybe.
I think, yeah, that sounds right.
Or I made it up. No, is that right?
Now it is.
So yeah, but we will go back up there and do that. It was just, it didn't work out for us.
Right. Well, it was like super early in the day, and what are you going to do in Cuba for like 8 hours?
Right, exactly. But we will definitely go back there. I bet there's ghosts. When we go back, I'm going to ask the lady or gentleman at the desk if there's ghosts.
They always appreciate that.
I know. They always think I'm weird. I don't know why.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine why.
Remember that one that we stayed at? Where was that? That creepy. It was like the same type, like roadside. Were we in Iowa?
I think so, yeah. We were in Iowa. It was like literally like 5 rooms on the side of the road. I don't remember what it was called. I know they had green doors. Yeah. It was super creepy.
It was.
It definitely looked like something that, like, any movie you've seen where someone gets murdered at a motel.
What's that one movie where the guy was like, the big scary truck, and he was like, in my head I'm saying Candy Cane, but I don't think he was saying Candy Cane. No, it's because
that's what he was saying, the guy's name. It was Joyride.
Joyride. So I feel like in Joyride there was a motel like that. But I really don't know anything. All my movies get mixed up, so.
I think you're thinking of No Vacancy. But Joyride was the one where, he's like Candy Cane.
Yeah.
They were using the CB.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Never mind. I'm completely wrong.
But I think
every movie is one movie in my head. Right. That's the problem.
I think you're thinking of No Vacancy with Luke Wilson.
Maybe. Anyway, so that was pointless. But anyway, for some reason when I think of that place in Iowa, I always think of joyride
Yeah, that makes sense.
for no reason.
I don't know.
What I really wanted to do was go to Eureka Springs this weekend,
Right.
but I was hesitant because one, it said it was going to storm all weekend, which it did not
It
happen.
did not happen at all.
And then two, we got to get like permission to travel because of your job. You're holding me back. And three is like there were so many restrictions down there as far as like I really wanted to stay at the Crescent, but they were like at like the low capacity.
They had
I don't know, they
weird
had some-
hours of that they were like open.
You can only go like Friday to Sunday or something.
Right.
So I thought we would just wait. But then it was like a really awesome weekend, and
Right.
the weather was great, and we should have went.
Yeah.
Because then we saw that Jason and Kara Kupsik were there.
Yeah. From Ectoplasm.
So that made me sad. We should have went. Oh well.
Next time.
Next time. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of traveling, tonight we're going to be traveling down to Fouke, Arkansas, which means we can only be talking about one thing, and that's the Fouke Monster. So let's take a quick break and do just that.
A sudden draft from a window that was supposed to have been closed. A chill at the back of the neck. Groans, creaks, and bumps in the night. Man has always been frightened by the dark. Troubled by noises just beyond the reach of lights. Occurrences just beyond the reach of understanding.
Okay, so I actually wanted to travel here. Once again, it didn't happen. I even saved, they have a festival, the Fouke Monster Festival.
That makes sense. When's that?
I can't remember now.
Oh.
Because I pretty much gave up on everything right now.
Right.
I think it's June. It may have been May. Actually, looking at the event on Facebook, I'm totally wrong, and it is August 1st. I feel like they changed that
They may have
because
kind of pushed
there's
it.
no way I'm wrong.
Yes, that never happens. Unfortunately, nobody can see the face I'm making. So there you go. I mean, there may be hope. We may be able to go down there and go to the Monster Mart.
Yes, that looks awesome. That's a tourist trap. I'm there.
Yeah, see. I just gotta find a tourist trap nearby to any of the places that I want to go to.
Right.
I can rope you in.
I'm looking at this. I'm just looking at their address because it's at the Fouke Middle School and it's on Panther Drive. So I assume they're the Panthers, and that makes me sad because they should be
What should they be?
the Fouke Monsters.
Just call them the Monsters?
Yeah, the Monsters. That'd be awesome. So Fouke is located, it's southern Arkansas, about 17 miles north of Louisiana, 11 miles southeast of Texarkana, which is like the Texas
Texas,
Arkansas border. It's in Miller County, Arkansas. The area is known as Boggy Creek area.
Which is, of course, something we'll get into later.
Right. It's a very small town. Like around 595 people.
All right, so the Fouke Monster is said to be a Sasquatch-like creature, Bigfoot. It's said to roam the network of creeks extending from the Sulphur River bottoms in southern Arkansas to the small town of Fouke. It's said to be pretty much right on with other Bigfoot, Sasquatch-like creatures, approximately 7 feet tall, weighing anywhere from 300 to 500 pounds. It's said to have dark brown or black fur or hair, however you want to describe it, of course covering its body. And one of the big differences is that it's supposed to have red eyes, that's one of the only things that's kind of not common with the Bigfoot-esque creatures. What are you laughing about?
I'm just laughing because there's a common thing for a Bigfoot. That just makes me laugh.
And of course, it's gonna have dark skin, and then an ape-like face. Did you have anything else for
Yes.
description-wise?
One of the other big things about it, it only has 3 toes.
Oh, yes.
Like claws, more like claws. So they thought either it's missing toes or it just has the 3. And of course, there is the sound that it makes.
Right. And you actually have
Which
it.
I have a recording of, and I'm sure it's 100% legit.
Right. Is this going to be a common Bigfoot sound?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's pulling that up.
Right now I'm feeling like, with everything going on in the world, I'm feeling like Bigfoot is more common than common sense.
Right.
Honestly. I don't know why. I just thought about that. All right, I'm going to pull this up.
I will say that this is loud, so if you have headphones in, you may want to turn it down a little bit just for a second while she plays this.
Now that is terrifying, right?
Right. Yeah, that's...
It gives me chills.
Yeah, that I don't know. I wouldn't say that's necessarily your common Bigfoot sound, if there is such a thing. But yeah, that was like...
I assume it was the screaming and not the...
Right, I don't even
The
know
bird
what
at
that...
the
I
end.
mean, yeah, that must have been some bird also terrified. I mean, that sounded like somebody being like cut in half.
It was
like,
horrible.
I don't know if that was like a distress signal.
Maybe it was a mating call.
Maybe it was like someone running from a mating call.
The Fouke Monster is also thought to be nocturnal, though there has been a few sightings during the day.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, even animals that are primarily nocturnal are still seen during the day at some point. Sometimes you see bats like right before, dusk.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was looking up some of the older sightings, and not the most famous, but the older. One was reported in 1946. It's a woman reported seeing it by her home, outside her home.
I've got 2 here. The first was a sighting in 1953, and then there's another one that there's a little bit of confusion. Some people say 1965, some people say 1955. Either way, it was spotted by a 14-year-old boy when he was hunting. The only information I was able to find about it was that he described it as having reddish brown hair.
So you want to get into the most famous sighting?
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into that.
Okay. So that occurred in May of 1971. Resident of Texarkana, Bobby Ford, he said that he was attacked by the monster / Sasquatch.
So this was said to have happened at his house, and this creature that was breathing heavily, of course, had red eyes. He said it moved very fast. Ford said that the man-like creature, which was about 7 feet tall and 3 feet across at the chest, and put his arm around his shoulder and grabbed him. Ford said he was able to break free from the creature and ran to his house, reporting that he ran so fast he didn't open the front door but went right through it. And actually ended up being treated at a local hospital for minor scratches and shock. And you actually have the article that was wrote about it.
Yeah, it was on the Texarkana Gazette. Let me pull this up. So, like I said, this was written by Jim Powell. It ran on May 3rd, 1971. Miller County Sheriff's Department officers said earlier today a search for the area where a mysterious creature was spotted near Fouke early Sunday failed to reveal a clue. Members of my department searched the area but didn't find a thing. I don't know what it could have been, Sheriff Leslie Greer said. Bobby Ford, 25, of Route 1, Box 220, Texarkana, Arkansas, who lives approximately 10 miles south of Texarkana on U.S. Highway 71, said the unidentified creature attacked him at his home shortly before midnight Saturday. Ford was treated at St. Michael Hospital for minor scratches and mild shock and released. After the thing grabbed me and I broke free, I was moving so fast I didn't stop to open the door. I just ran through it, Ford said. The creature was described by Ford as being 7 feet tall, about 3 feet wide across the chest. At first I thought it was a bear, but it runs upright and it moves real fast, he said. Ford, his brother Don, and Charles Taylor saw the creature several times shortly after midnight and shot at it 7 times with a shotgun. They do not have very good aim.
Right.
I feel like I could shoot that. It first started Wednesday when our wives heard something walking around the porch. Then Friday night about midnight, the thing tried to break into the house again. Last night it tried to get in again, Don Ford said. Elizabeth Ford said she was sleeping in the front room of the frame house when I saw the curtain moving on the front window and a hand sticking through the window. At first I thought it was a bear's paw, but it didn't look like that. It had heavy hair all over it and it had claws. I could see its eyes. They looked like coals of fire, real red, she said. It didn't make any noise except you could hear it breathing. Ford said that they spotted the creature in the back of the house with the aid of a flashlight. We shot several times at it and then called Ernest Walraven, constable of Fouke. He brought us another shotgun and a stronger light. We waited on the porch and then saw the thing closer to the house. We shot again and thought we saw it fall. Bobby, Charles, and myself started walking to where we saw it fall, he said. About that time, according to Don Ford, they heard the women in the house screaming and Bobby went back. I was walking the rungs of a ladder to get up on the porch when the thing grabbed me. I felt a hairy arm come over my shoulder, and the next thing I knew, we were on the ground. The only thing I could think about was to get out of there. The thing was breathing real hard, and its eyes were the size of a $50 and real red. I finally broke away and ran around the house and through the front door. I don't know where he went, Bobby Ford said. We heard Bobby shouting, and by the time we got there, everything was over. We didn't see a thing, Don Ford said. Everyone at the house said they saw the creature moving in the field close to the house. All said it could move very fast. Walraven said he was called to the scene about 12:35 a.m. Sunday, May 2nd, and searched the area without finding anything. I looked through the surrounding fields and woods for about an hour. Then I gave them my shotgun and light. A short time later, they called and told me that they had shot at it again. I went back and stayed until 5 a.m. Walraven said several years ago, residents of Jonesville community near Fouke reported seeing a hairy monster in the area. Several persons saw the thing and shot at it, some at close range. They said nothing seemed to stop it. They described it as being 7 feet tall and looking just like a naked man covered in brown hair. Walraven said, all that remained Sunday morning at the Ford house were several strange tracks that appeared to be left by something with 3 toes, and several scratch marks on the front porch that appeared to have been made by something with 3 claws. Several pieces of tin nailed around the bottom of the house had been ripped away, and another window had been damaged by the creature, according to Ford. We plan to stay here tonight and see if we can get the thing if it returns, Don Ford said. I'm not staying here anymore unless they kill that thing, Patricia Ford said. As for Bobby, he said, I've had it here. I'm going back to Ashdown.
All right, so that was wrote by Jim Powell,
yes,
who was the reporter for the Texarkana Gazette.
Right. And he said that when he interviewed Bob and Elizabeth Ford, that they were like super shaken up. Like
I'd imagine
he seemed
so.
like it was legit.
Legit
as a Sasquatch can be.
Really? You hear Alice scratching
That's our
meowing
cat.
outside the door.
She wants in. Maybe it's the Fouke Monster.
It might be
She
the
is a
No,
monster.
because it's not screaming.
She is a monster, though.
Right.
She's evil.
The Fouke Monster it's probably the Fouke Monster screaming from Alice.
Right.
That's what we heard. But Jim Powell was also actually the individual who came up with the name for the Fouke Monster. He said that he was sitting at his typewriter working on a second story and realized that he had to call it something. He had said that the woman had said it reached a hairy arm through the window in order to grab her. It was breathing hard and that it had eyes that were as big as $50 and red as coals. And that's pretty much how he came up with the idea to call it the Fouke Monster.
You know what I loved about this story?
What's that?
I love that they gave the address. Like, legit his address. Like, could you imagine doing that in newspapers now? He lives at 220
Right.
South, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Because it would be insane with people like standing out there taking pictures.
Yeah,
and
just privacy in general.
I saw a thing, this is completely off topic, but the movie The Poltergeist,
Yeah.
the original Steven Spielberg one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the front portion that they filmed of that house.
Yeah.
It's a real house out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And people have found it, and now people like drive by it all slow and like taking pictures. And
I mean, I believe it because I'm weird like that.
that's something you would do.
Yeah. Remember that time I got to Springfield early? So like went to like, I don't think I told you that.
No, I imagine you didn't.
I went to like, so I had to go to Springfield and I got there like super early because, it's like a long drive and I don't want to be late because it's a doctor's appointment. So then I went to like all these houses where true crimes happen.
Oh my God.
I'm that person. I was like,
You are
oh,
that
let me
person.
find this address.
You're the reason
So that's what happened. Better yet, Dagan was with me. So he's like, what are we doing? I was like, I'm just looking for my friend's house. Because, I didn't want to be like, this crime happened here. This happened there.
Right, yeah. Let's
I'm
not
so
do
weird.
that. You're the reason they don't put addresses in news stories.
But you can find anything online. What else I loved about that story, going back to the Fouke Monster, is that he ran through the door. He didn't even open it.
Right.
Like, really?
Well, it's probably a screen door.
Yeah, but how are you
it's
going to
May
keep him
in
out?
Arkansas.
Like, now his door's busted open and like,
He didn't have time for that.
yeah. I feel like he was just dramatic.
I don't know. You got to get chased by the Fouke Monster and see.
Now, even though they said that they shot it, they thought they shot it, they'd seen it fall. The next day when they went back, there was there was no blood or anything.
Right, there's no blood trails showing
Right.
that it was damaged.
Now, that happened in May. In June, there was footprints found in a soybean field not far from there. So,
And also, right around that time, 3 people, D.C. Woods Jr., Wilma Woods, and Mrs. R.H. Sedgis. Sedgrass, maybe?
yeah.
Sedgis? I don't know. Reported seeing an ape-like creature crossing U.S. Highway 71. So this time frame kind of ended up being the height of this whole story with the Fouke Monster. So during this time, the creature began to get a lot of attention. Even having a radio station out of Little Rock, Arkansas, post a bounty for the creature. Several attempts were made to track the creature using dogs, but nothing was able to really follow its scent. At that point, hunters began taking interest in the Fouke Monster, and the Miller County Sheriff actually had to put out a temporary no guns policy in order to preserve public safety.
I saw one of the articles I read, it said that at one point he had like 700 letters from people wanting to come hunt.
I imagine, of course, I'm sure he's not still the sheriff, but they still get letters and correspondence wanting to hunt the monster. And in this kind of a side note, but there was 3 people that were actually fined $59 each for filing fraudulent monster reports. It's kind of amazing in the sense that, but I wonder just how many reports there really was during that time.
Right.
I mean, if that many people contacted him wanting to hunt the monster, how many people were contacting him saying that, oh, I just saw it, just wanting that attention?
Yeah. So, in the 80s, the mayor at the time was Virgil Roberts, and he actually said that he thought it was all a hoax. But that didn't stop his wife from cashing in on the hoax, right? She took the plaster cast and she had little tiny ones made, and it said like greetings from Boggy Creek, and she like sold them for like 50 cents each.
Huh.
Even though her husband said it wasn't
Right.
real.
Interesting. I wonder how his, because I imagine, that's kind of like a staple. If they're going to have the Fouke Monster Days, I wonder how his campaign went after that. After
Right.
saying it was all a hoax.
I want to try to find one of those. I bet we could still find one. One
What's
of the
that?
little
the little casts?
little casts.
Oh, I
yeah.
bet we probably could look for it on eBay.
Yeah.
So after the initial, I guess, incidents, public interest kind of started decreasing around 73. And then a movie came along. Charles B. Pierce ended up releasing a documentary-style horror film about the creature in 1972 called The Legend of Boggy Creek. And, of course, we watched it.
Oh my gosh.
What did you think about it?
It was so not my type of movie. I don't want to be mean. I didn't like it. It was just so boring. But I know it's like an old movie.
Right.
And I have a very short attention span. I know that too.
So here's kind of some of the... It was made in August of 1972. It was 87 minutes long, which is, by today's standards, is pretty crazy short. I mean, there's movies that are coming out like 3+ hours.
Oh my gosh, I was like, that is so long.
I will say it was good for its time. I bet it, now here's what's kind of crazy. The budget for the movie, $100,000. Which, if you get into some of the history of the movie, a lot of the people in the movie are people that live there in the town playing themselves in the movie. So, $100,000 budget. The movie has made $25 million.
That's insane.
Since 1972.
What I remember the most about that movie is, like, at the beginning, the guy outside the gas station and his hat. I don't know why. Do you remember his hat?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just loved it.
It was, yeah. It was a good movie for its time. Of course, that spiked all kinds of publicity and stuff. Unfortunately, the townsfolk did not get a lot of that, the returns on the money from that movie.
Yeah, and that's sad. But they do, I feel like they still, now they have like Fouke Monster days. And I actually saw where a teacher, she was upset by people coming to try to come in and hunt it. So that would be me.
Right.
That'd be that person. So she attempted to try to get it declared a protected and endangered species.
I think they should. I think that'd be awesome. I would sign, if that was a petition, I would sign that.
Yeah.
But there's also been a lot of other media and stuff, and I think you have something on a documentary, an actual documentary that was...
So I actually have a couple books and movies. I'm a book person.
Right.
So, of course, you mentioned The Legend of Boggy Creek, 1972 by Clark B. Pierce.
Charles B. Pierce.
Charles B. Pierce. I can't read my own handwriting. The documentary I watched that I liked was Boggy Creek Monster, The Truth Behind the Monster. It's a 2016 by Seth Breedlove.
Yes, I watched that one.
I watched it like 4 times.
It's really good.
Yeah. Books. The Beast of Boggy Creek, The True Story of the Fouke Monster by Lyle Blackburn.
I haven't read that.
And, that's the only book that I have, actually.
I did hear an interview with him about that book, and it does sound really interesting. I'm going to have to find a copy of it.
I feel like it's legit. The Fouke Monster. He has his own Facebook page, so...
Has he updated it recently?
I don't know. I haven't checked that.
Okay, while she's looking to see if he has updated it recently, I will add one little other note in there. There's a sequel to The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, God. No.
It's awful. Don't watch it. But in case you don't want to listen to me, it's called Boggy Creek 2, and the legend continues. But like I said, you've been warned.
All right, I just found it. So Wednesday, 11:56. It's updated with a double feature, like drive-in theater thing.
Right.
Playing The Legend of Boggy Creek, A True Story, and the second feature is Swamp Girl.
Well, there you go. So he is real, or she's real.
Yeah.
And it likes the movie. Able to find a news clipping like that. It must have saved it in its like little Boggy Creek cave.
I'm looking at this thing. It's shared on March 26th. It's an article. I'm not going to click it. But it says, it's like it shared a newspaper article. It says, Fouke Monster breaks into local bathroom, steals toilet paper. Which is hilarious, because that's when the toilet paper shortage.
Right. So now we know.
Yeah. Now we know where all the toilet paper is.
Right. It's with the Fouke Monster.
I will say 2 funny things that I found. Like, it was like other names, things that it has been called. One was the Southern Sasquatch, which is good.
Yeah.
But my favorite was the country cousin to the abominable snowman.
That one's awesome.
That one's amazing. And actually, there is still, where's the website? FoukeMonster.com. They're always updating new sightings.
Oh, excellent.
So
there you go. You can go on there and find updates rather than go on Facebook and check his Facebook page.
yeah, though you obviously need to check his Facebook page.
Right, because I did not also notice that the Fouke Monster had stuff on there about Fouke Monster Days.
Right, self-promotion.
Right. Who knows? He might show up.
Right.
All right, so I think that pretty much wraps it up for the Fouke Monster. I do have one more question, though. What do you think? Hoax? Or was it legit?
Why do you even have to ask me that? I don't believe in them, so I guess I'm just not into it.
So you're saying the Fouke Monster was a hoax?
I don't want to be that person.
What about Bobby Ford? He was so scared.
Bobby and Elizabeth Ford were so scared.
He ran through
But
his
he
door.
shot 7 times and he never even hit it.
We don't know
But
if
it fell
Bobby,
down.
We don't even know if Bobby Ford was a good shot. Maybe it tripped and he thought he shot it.
That's probably what happened.
He only has
only has 3 toes.
3 toes. Could you imagine running with 3 toes if
No.
someone was shooting at you with a
No,
shotgun?
good point. Okay, he's absolutely real.
There we go. Mark the date. Felicia believes in Bigfoot.
No, the Fouke Monster. It's different.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's the country cousin.
Country cousin of the abdominal snowman. Abominable snowman, not abdominal.
Okay.
What about you?
Of
I
course
know
it's
you
real.
believe. I don't even have to ask you.
Right. Of course it's real. I believe in Bobby Ford.
That's right. I'm gonna get your T-shirt.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, of course I believe. I think it was legitimate. The only thing I do wonder is because the sightings were so wrapped around like one small time frame. And of course, granted, there's been other sightings. I wonder if it was more of a migratory thing as it was moving through the area. You know, maybe those winters are a little bit nicer down there.
Well,
and,
of course they're nicer down there.
But I don't know. That's kind of where my thought pattern is with this. I figure it was more of a migratory thing. It was moving through the area. And maybe he did hit it, but it was just enough to kind of knock it down because its hide's so tough.
Ew.
And so it was hurt, wounded, sad, and stuck in Fouke, Arkansas.
Yeah. I want to correct. Earlier I said it was FoukeMonster.com. It's
Uh-huh.
FoukeMonster.net.
Oh, .net. Okay.
And there is sightings on there. Like, newest was 2019.
There you go.
A woman saw a monkey man in the woods while sitting in her father's truck along one of the rural roads at night. The location is near the Sulphur River, where many sightings of the alleged Fouke Monster have been reported.
So there you go. 2019. Fouke Monster's back.
There's actually 2 from then, so it's
Oh.
back.
There you go. All right, so I think that does it for this episode. As always, you can get a hold of us at untildawnpodcast@gmail.com, and we're all over social media: Facebook,
Oh, sorry.
Twitter.
Not active. I need to be more active.
Not active.
I've
but-
been super busy doing nothing but sitting in the house.
right. But if you message us, we will message you back.
Yeah.
Of course, you can find this podcast. Of course, if you're listening to this, you've already found it. But if you know somebody else that might enjoy it and they don't necessarily have like an iPhone, you can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, and a bunch of other podcasting apps. I try to kind of get it out there to as many platforms as possible. Of course, I already mentioned Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can, phone lines are still open. You can call, leave a message, or just shoot us a text message at 913-703-DAWN, DAWN. In case you're like me and forgot how to spell Dawn.
It's my middle name.
not the same. Not spelled the same.
It is spelled the same. Oh my gosh.
I'll erase that part. If you want to rate this podcast, you can go to ratethispodcast.com/Until Dawn. Spelled the same. And that'll give you links to go in and rate it because sometimes going through the podcast, it can be tricky. Like you have to click on all kinds of stuff.
We should start reading our reviews. Did we ever do that? We used to.
I don't know.
I don't think we did. I don't know.
Okay, we'll just go all the way back to the beginning and read all of them again.
Yeah, all 5 of them.
Okay, we'll just read new ones. If you write a new review, we'll read it on here. Or message us if you already wrote one, and we'll read the one you already wrote. But going in there and doing that, it really it's like a huge help to us because it makes it easier for other people to follow us.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So until next time, I'm Coy.
I'm Felicia.
And this is Until Dawn.
Hurry back.